Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode here in NHL 23. So in last episode, we made a pretty big trade, even though our team was doing pretty good, and we finished the season with a 51-24-7 record, and yeah, everything's looking pretty good about this team for the most part. Our trade that we made was with the New York Rangers. We brought in Alexis Lafreniere, who is going to be missing game one because he is still coming back from injury, and I don't want to risk him getting injured again. We also brought in this Rammer guy from New York, and we also brought in Demetrius Hart from New York. And in exchange, we gave them Sasha Pielmeyer, who was probably the hardest piece to move away from. We moved him over there to New York. We also moved away Avery Potter, and we also moved away the guy we acquired in the offseason from the Flames. That was kind of like in a top six role that he wasn't really that great of a player for a top six role. So basically our team actually has Lafreniere in the top six, so it would look a lot better once Lafreniere is back. But our team had a really good season. Like, a lot of positives to take away. Like, our goaltending was really good. Our top line and our top defensive pairing was absolutely phenomenal as well. As you can see, our top line of Vance, Reefers, and Nazar, all 83 and above points. Like, they're all point per game, and they all had incredible plus minuses. And even our top pairing had incredible plus minus as well. Like, Makar was a plus 59 this season. Brunstrom was a plus 67, which is the most I've ever had for a player for a plus minus. So yeah, basically our top line was really incredible. And yeah, Asher Vance hit 60 goals, so Asher Vance is definitely the man, and I'm really hoping he could have a really good playoffs ahead of him and help out the team. He had a really good playoffs the last time we made the playoffs, and he's now up to like 36 points in 34 games in the playoffs, so he is still over point per game. So hoping that he has a big year this year and he can get us as far as possible, because like his second half of the season, he went on like a torrential pace where he was like, I think it was like around 39 goals in 41 games, something like that. But ridiculous numbers from him, and yeah, hopefully he has a good playoffs ahead. Same with like Nazar and Reefers and that type of thing. But also our goaltending was pretty solid. As you can see, Easton Donald might be up there for the Vezina this year with a 912 save percentage and a 2.61 goals against. And then also Rudy Pitton was phenomenal as a backup with a 916 save percentage and a 2.38 goals against. So even though he traded away a bunch of players, this team still did really good defensively. Also, Nathan Mackey came into the lineup and had 10 points in 41 games, which is pretty solid. And then the guys that we brought in from New York were actually not that bad either. Like Rammer, 2 goals in 4 games as a depth option is not too bad. And I don't think the other guy got any playing time yet, if I'm not mistaken. No, he actually did 5 games with us. He had 5 penalty minutes and no points, but I mean, it's not that bad still. And yeah, hopefully we have a good playoffs ahead of us, and hopefully we can continue on our winning ways, because we are 7-1-2 in our last 10 games, and now we're going to be taking on the Vancouver Canucks in the first round of the playoffs, who had basically a 46-36 record. So I feel like for some reason we might end up getting cheesed, which I hope is not the case, considering when we brought in Lafreniere, he was pretty much purely a rental because he's a pending UFA this offseason. So hoping that we could win this round and get further in the second round and beyond that too, because this team definitely should start winning in the playoffs as soon as possible. And also with the head coach being Anze Kopitar now, at least we kind of have a guy that has the experience of winning Stanley Cups and that type of thing too behind the bench. But anyways, before we get into this first game of this first round, let's take a look at the Vancouver Canucks lines again, just in case you guys forgot. So here is what their forward core looks like, and they do also have some big injuries, so this team would be a lot better if those guys were actually healthy and whatnot. But this is still a very solid forward core for a team that won 46-36. You can see that they have like 85s on like the third line, which is pretty good. Former player Oscar Olsson is in the lineup for the Canucks. He's been actually pretty good as well. And then defensively, this is definitely where we need to play our best, as we need to get Quinn Hughes to not put up a lot of points, because Quinn Hughes has been an insane defenseman in this franchise mode. As you can see, over the last 5 seasons, he's averaged at least 85 points in a year, even more than that in some stages where he almost hit like 100 points, which is ridiculous. So yeah, we definitely need to find a way to shut down Quinn Hughes, because he pretty much drives their offense. They have not the best defensive core, but I mean, it's somewhat solid. Like, a lot of these guys are kind of more top 6 defenders except for Hughes and Jersey. So, yeah, hopefully we could shut down that defensive core a little bit. And then our goaltending is also pretty solid. Hugo Olenefelt's actually a pretty good playoff goalie. based on his career numbers. He's got a career 922 through 26 playoff games in the NHL, and in his AHL playoff numbers were also pretty good. So we definitely need to find ways to score on Lenefelt. And then, as you can see, they brought in Jack Eichel via trade at the trade deadline. They also brought in, I don't know if it was Ebbett. Was it Ebbett? No, it wasn't Ebbett. They also brought in this Lawson guy, I think it was. Yeah, Lawson from Vegas in a pretty big trade where they sent a former first overall pick that went before Asher Vance there. And yeah, Eichel got injured, which is good for us. He won't be back till May. And then also Ebbett is out for the remainder of the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. But at least they have injury problems, and hopefully that is enough to get our team to beat them, because they don't look as scary, definitely with those guys not in the lineup. Like, if they had Eichel and Ebbett back in the lineup, you'd probably scratch Raleigh, and then Eichel would probably be here, so you'd have the top three centers all being 84 plus, which is kind of nuts. So yeah, anyways, let's get into this first round matchup, and we're probably going to keep our team the way it ended off the regular season, except for obviously Lafreniere's missing game 1, but he will be back for game 2. And yeah, Easton Donald's deserved a chance to at least start this game. He's not had good playoff numbers in the past in the AHL, so hopefully he has a good time here in his first ever playoff game. But if he doesn't do that good, obviously we have Rudy Pitton, who also did good during the regular season, so I will throw him in if need be. But yeah, let's get into game number 1 on home ice. We'll have home ice for most of the playoffs likely, unless we are to play like a President's Trophy winning team. Okay, so here we go. Game number 1 at the United Center. Let's see if we could take a 1-0 series lead and see if Vance can continue on his torrential pace. First period, down 2-0. Yeah, I definitely had a bad sign about this in a sense, because we were really good going into the playoffs, but now we're down 2-0 after the first period. It's not a great start for Easton Donald. Nick Schmaltz scores and Joachim Kimmel scores. That's 2 goals against on 12 shots. So not a great start for Donald. He's not going to necessarily be in net next game, but he might be in net next game if he could have a solid period here, and if our team could get back in this game as well. Shots are 12-11 in favor of the Canucks. We're down by 2 goals. Can we at least get one back in the second period? Second period? Hey, okay, there's a good answer. Good defensive period, and look who starts the offense. Not a surprise. Asher Vance makes it 2-1, and then Matthias Brunstrom from the back end scores. Like I said, our top forward line and our top defensive pairing is usually our main cause of offense, and that is the case here in Game 1. Shots are 25-19 in favor of the Canucks, but we have came back from down 0-2. Can we take the lead here in this third period for the first time in this game? Let's see what happens. See if we can get that lead. Come on, boys. Hey, there you go. Brennan Bales on the third line. That's good to see another line scoring other than just the first line. And it's a 3-2 game for us. We have 3 unanswered goals, but Elias Pettersson ties the game up. Not good. I wouldn't put this game fully on Donald. He's actually faced a lot of shots in this game, so he's kind of keeping us in it in a sense. Final few minutes of this game 1, and we're going to overtime in the first game of this first round. Shots are 34-30 in favor of Vancouver, but it is a 3-3 game, so both goalies not doing too bad. And then our offense has been from our top line and our third line right now, so hopefully the second line could get a little bit of a goal. Obviously, it kind of sucks because Lafreniere's out, so with Lafreniere back, maybe that second line will get going again, but right now it's been a little bit quiet. Let's see if we can get that OT winner and take game 1 of the series. Come on, boys. Hey, yes we can, and it's an early OT goal, 12 seconds in, and of course, it's the captain, Asher Vance. He has 2 goals to start the playoffs. Yeah, he's on a different planet right now. Like I said, I think he had like 39 goals in 41 games down the stretch. He was at like 52 points as well, so he is on a tear right now, and he gets us to win a game 1. So Vance from Reefers and Brunstrom from Cox and Corrado. So actually that's the second line, I think. No, that might be a power play unit, actually, because Corrado is on the power play, I'm pretty sure. And then Bales from McCarr and Cox, and Vance from Nazar and Reefers. That's exactly what I wanted from Asher Vance to start the playoffs. 2 goals. He gets first star. Brunstrom the second star with 1 goal, 1 assist, and 5 hits. Damn. And Reefers the third star with 2 assists. So we take game 1 on home ice. That's a pretty good way to start it off, considering we were down 2-0 at one point. We rally back and get the win. So I think I am going to keep Donald in net for this next game, because that last game, obviously those goals against weren't really on him, and then he played really good after that first period. So no problems with the performance from Easton Donald so far. But obviously, if he plays really bad for like multiple games, I wouldn't mind going to somebody like Rudy Pitton. Looks like Connor Recchi's playing injured, which is interesting because I don't think he was to start last game. So maybe he like bruised his knee or something like that. So it's like a little bit of a minor injury, but hopefully he doesn't get injured too badly in this next game. But yeah, Easton Donald, solid first game. Solid first game. That's good to see. Because we have never really had good playoff goaltending so far in this series. Because like Drew Commesso was always really terrible. So it's good that he's gone. Hopefully Donald and Pitton are the type of goalies that could win us playoff games. So we have a 1-0 series lead. Can we take a 2-0 series lead here and get another win on home ice headed to Vancouver? Come on, boys. Let's see if Vince could continue where he left off with 2 goals in that last game. First period of game number 2. 1-0 us. Let's go. And it's Lou Morris. Or not Lou Morris. Len Morris. God damn it. I'm getting 2B series now stuck in my head with Lou Morris. Len Morris. It's because it's a 3-letter name as well. Len is like the distant cousin of Lou Morris, we'll say. But Len Morris opens the scoring. Shots are 12-6 in favor of us. So a very dominant period shot-wise. And good goaltending, good offense, I would say, so far. Let's see if we could add some insurance in the second period, because that would definitely help us out going into the third. Second period, 5-1 us. Wow. Pettersson tied the game up, but then Kabanov scores his first ever playoff goal. Corrado scores, I believe, his first ever playoff goal. Then Kabanov scores his second goal of the playoffs, and Cox scores as well. So a lot of offense, 1 power play goal for. And yeah, we're up by 4 goals going into the third with the shots being 25-16. I mean to 17. That's what I meant to say. I said 16 for some reason. But anyways, kind of surprised that Kabanov had 2 goals in that period because I think he only had like 6 goals in the regular season through 40-something games. So he's not really a huge goal scorer. He's more of a pure playmaker. But anyways, we're up by 4 goals. Let's lock this one down here and take that 2-0 series lead here. Penalty kill here in this third period, and they get a power play goal from Quinn Hughes to pull within 3. And Elias Pettersson makes it 5-3. That's not good. Come on, guys. Don't blow this. Oh, no. We're going to lose 6-5 here. Chinnikov makes it 5-4. Come on, guys. Don't let them back into this game. We had a 5-1 lead. Come on. Hey, Kabanov completes the hat trick. Let's go. At the empty net goal, and we win 6-4. I literally thought they were going to come back and win 6-5 because I've seen that happen too many times. Once they scored like those 2 goals, I was kind of getting worried, and then Chinnikov made it a 1-goal game. But luckily for us, Kabanov had a great game, and we win 6-4. So another pretty tight game for the most part. Not the best effort from Easton Donald, but we get another win, so it's not a huge issue. So Morris from Little, Kabanov from Little and Bales, Corrado from Nazar and Brunstrom, Kabanov from Little and Lowry, Cox from Nitamaki and Corrado, and Kabanov from Bales. So the first line really didn't do much offensively. Like Nazar and Brunstrom are top liners on offense and defense. But like Little, Bales, Kabanov, those guys are all third liners. And then Cox is a second liner. So our third line was doing really well in that game. Yeah, our third line had a combined... Actually, Corrado's fourth line, isn't he? I'm thinking if he's third or fourth. I think he's fourth line. Yeah, because he's playing with Ziska and stuff. So our third line, Little and Kabanov-wise, and Bales, yeah, that's our third line, was combined for 8 points in that game. So great to see the depth scoring show up. That's exactly what you could use from a team like that. And no points from Vance in that game, but he had 7 shots on goal. God damn. And yeah, not a great effort from Easton Donald in that one, but he got the win. So we will probably keep him in net. So Kabanov, the first star with his first ever playoff hat trick and only his second NHL playoff game. So that's impressive. Little, the second star with 3 assists, and Corrado, the third star with the goal and assist. But yeah, I think I'll keep Easton Donald since he's winning games still. But if he plays bad again this game, I might be leaning towards putting Pitton in net. So Recchi's full health, which is good. He's already in the lineup. And I think we'll keep our lineup the exact same going into Game 3. Kind of weird seeing Kabanov leading our team in points right now, but it's probably going to change after this game. Yeah, Easton Donald's not doing too well right now. But likely Pitton will go in net afterwards. Yeah, even though Pitton's had some really bad playoff numbers himself in his career. But likely if Easton Donald has a bad game here, we're going to Pitton, even though we're up 2-0 in the series. Okay, so we have a 2-0 series lead headed to Vancouver. Can we get some wins on the road and potentially propel ourselves in a direction that we might almost be into that second round? Let's see what happens here in Game 3. See if we can take a 3-0 stranglehold. Come on, boys. At least get one win here on the road. First period, 1-0 us. Let's go. Brennan Bales again. That third line is doing really well. It's a good young third line. Because Bales was kind of struggling playing at center, and then when we made those trades and stuff like that, he got put to the left side again. And it seems like the left side is definitely where he should be playing, and Kabanov's a perfect third-line center for this team right now. He might end up being into the top 6 soon, too, with his development stage. But it's 1-0 for us after one. Shots are 12-10, so pretty even period nonetheless. Can we get some insurance in this second period? Second period, 2-0 us. Let's go. Cale Makar scores. He hadn't scored yet in this series, so that was a big goal for him to get on the board. Hopefully he continues to drive the offense a bit, because he was really good this season from like a power play standpoint, plus minus points in general. So if he could contribute from the back end, that's always good for our team. Shots are 21-19 in favor of the Canucks, but we're up 2-0, so it's been a solid game so far from Easton Dahl. Good rebound game. Can we lock this down here in the third period? Come on, boys. Let's get some insurance. We're up by 2 goals. One more goal would probably ice this game. Let's go, and Reefers makes it 3-0. That's probably the one that ice it. Olsen gets them on the board, our former player, making it a 3-1 game. Final 5 minutes of this third period, still up by 2 goals. Penalty kill late in this game, we kill it off. We get a power play of our own, and we get another power play goal from Reefers, and we win 4-1 in Game 3. And we are 1 win away from the second round, as we are making mincemeat out of the Vancouver Canucks. So Bales from Kabanov and Little, Makar from Lafreniere and Recchi, Reefers from Makar and Nazar, Reefers from Brunstrom and Nazar. So yeah, Vance has been a little bit quiet since Game 1, but I mean, I'm not complaining because the rest of the team is doing good, so eventually Vance will get on his horse a little bit. But another solid effort from like that third line and whatnot. +3 for Brunstrom. Love to see it. Yeah, the top pairing of Brunstrom and Makar has done really well for us. And yeah, like I was saying, Vance, no points again. Was +1. He only had 3 shots on goal, which is not really that much for him, but a really good bounce back performance from Easton Donald in that victory. Reefers the first star of the game, Makar the second star, and Donald the third star. So we're 1 win away from round number 2. Definitely a good way to start off this playoff run. We're outscoring them now 14-8 in the series, so we're almost like doubled up on them in goal-wise. Can we complete the sweep and get ourselves to the second round? No other team in the Western Conference is up 3-0 yet. And then in the East, the only team up 3-0 is the Philadelphia Flyers, who have won 3 straight Stanley Cups, I think it is, in this series. So they're definitely the team that's looking for another cup. Like, if they win another Stanley Cup, that team is an absolute cheat code. But, yeah, let's keep our lineup the same. Even though Vance has kind of been struggling a bit, the depth scoring has been there. So if Vance gets going, this team could be unstoppable at this rate. Let's see what happens here in Game 4. See if we could pull off the sweep and get to round 2. Where I don't remember when the last time we were in round 2 is, but still, it'd be nice to get to round 2 again. First period of Game 4. And we're up 2-0 again. Let's go. Reefers and Nazar scored. This top line has been phenomenal so far. Vance has definitely been the most quiet of the top liners, but Reefers and Nazar definitely have been picking up their offense quite a bit during the regular season and also so far in the playoffs. Shots are 14-13 in favor of the Canucks, but we're up by 2 goals. Can we get some insurance in this second period? Second period, still 2-0. That's a great period. Shots are 26-26, but we're still up by 2 goals. And yeah, Easton Donald is all of a sudden locked in. He's played really good in these last 5 periods. Can we lock it down and sweep the Canucks? Come on, boys. Hey, Asher Vance, there he is. And Bale scores 2. There you go. So Vance a little bit quiet in this round, but 3 goals in 4 games, not going to complain. Chinnikov breaks Donald's shutout, unfortunately. But yeah, Easton Donald is definitely picking it up here a little bit, and it looks like we are going to be headed to the second round with a nice sweep over the Vancouver Canucks. A lot easier of a series than I actually thought it was going to be, because for some reason I just felt like Vancouver could have been a cheese team to knock us out really easily. But we have eliminated Quinn Hughes and those Canucks in a pretty easy fashion. So Reefers from Corrado and Nazar from Morris and Vance, Vance from Nazar and Morris, and Bales from Makar and Cox. Pretty good. Our top three lines, are actually all three of our four of our lines have been really good, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So Nazar had 3 points, Vance and Morris had 2 points, and a couple one-pointers. Goalie-wise, another great performance from Easton Donald. He is locked in right now, and he gets first star of the game. Nazar gets the second star, and Vance the third star. So yeah, we completely dominated that first round, because we outscored them, let's see, 4-8-12, 18 to... Goddamn, math is tough sometimes. 18 to 9. So yeah, we basically doubled them in goals for. So yeah, that was a really easy series for us. But let's take a look at our player stats through round number 1, and then we'll see who we're going up against in round 2. So let's take a look, starting off with our forwards here at center. Yeah, Nazar had a fantastic first round. 7 points and a +6. Mostly assists, but he is a playmaker after all. Reefers had a really good first round, 5 points and a +5. Gabanov was great. He had a hat trick in 1 game, 4 points in 4 games. Only a +1, but that's okay. Vance was good. He had 3 goals and assist for 4 points. Cox also had 4 points. And then nothing from Hart, who played 1 game when Lafreniere was out. And nothing from Ziska, but that is okay. Left wing wise, Bales, 5 points in 4 games. Phenomenal numbers from him. Lil had 4 assists in 4 games, and Lafreniere picked up 1 assist in 3 games and was a -1. So, not the offensive output I'm looking for from Lafreniere, but hopefully he has a strong second round ahead. And Rodney Patterson had no points either. Hopefully he could get some goals going. And yeah, Corrado was point per game. He was great. Recchi was also kind of quiet. So that second line a bit quiet in some areas, but maybe it'll improve itself in the next series. Defensively, Makar and Bernstrom, phenomenal as usual. 4 points in 4 games and a +6 each. Len Morris was great. 3 points in 4 games, +4. Lowry was great. 1 assist and a +4. And then the top 6 pairing of Ovechkin and Niittymaki were both -2. That's interesting. So the top 6 pairing is the only worrisome thing in terms of +-, but it's not that big of an issue at the moment. And yeah, Easton Donald, the last 2 games definitely helped his save percentage and whatnot, but 4-0 with a .929 save percentage and a 2.25. So hopefully he has a strong second round, because if he doesn't, obviously we will turn to Pitton, because most goalies that we end up having in these type of series end up like having a really bad round at some stage. So we'll probably like flip-flop goalies, and we probably won't ride on one goalie for the entire playoff run. But there is that. Let's see who we are going to be taking on in round number 2, and then that'll be pretty much it for this episode. Who are we going to take on in round 2? Is it a team we could beat, or is it a team that's tougher than the Canucks? Let's see, what do we got here? It's going to be the Winnipeg Jets, which have the best top line in the NHL, if I'm not mistaken, still, because I'm pretty sure they still have the line of Rantanen, Bedard, and Kyle Connor. And yeah, that line is really scary. They had a 50-28-4 record during the regular season, so we are pretty close in the standings as well. So this is going to be a really interesting matchup. Winner of this series will take on either Edmonton or LA in the conference finals. Okay, let's take a look at what those Winnipeg Jets look like. I don't remember if we played them in the playoffs before. I don't think we have, but I could be wrong. But yes, they do have that top line, and this top line is the most insane line I think I've ever seen in a franchise mode. So you have Kyle Connor coming off of our 4 straight seasons with 104 or more points. You have Connor Bedard. Obviously, Connor Bedard's Connor Bedard, but he's literally had 5 100-point seasons in his last 6 years, and one of them that he was just really close to getting, but he didn't get. So he's been unreal. And then you also have Mikko Rantanen, who is getting close to retirement age as well. He's coming off 4 straight 100-point seasons as well. So this entire top line has had 100 points in 4 straight years. That's unreal. This might be the best line I think I've ever seen. And second line wise, they have Simon Knack, Cole Perfetti, and Jordan Greenway. Third line, Lucas Reichel, our former player, of course. That's where he ended up signing. He played a couple years in Pittsburgh prior to this, but he had a pretty good season on that third line and getting some power play time. 51 points. Good for him. PLD is also over there, Maxime Gosselin, and a fourth line of Damien Giroux, Dwayne Cousineau, and Ryan Poehling. So that forward core, really, really good. Center depth, really, really good. Winger-wise, a little bit weak on this side, I'd say, or on the right side. But other than that, that top line is filthy, and definitely it's going to be a tough task for our team to protect the net with those guys. And, of course, Winnipeg also brought in a stud defenseman in Rasmus Dahlin, who is off to a pretty good start there. 2 years where he's had 50 or more points. Yeah, their power play is going to be probably pretty gross. They also have Peak. They have Eric Chernak, our former defenseman as well. We had him for a brief bit, and then we let him go. He went to Arizona, then New York, and then he was signed by the Jets. He was with that terrible New York team, huh? And then Anton Olsen in the top 6 of Par Prince and Ryan Pulock. So, from a defensive standpoint, they're not really that great. Most of these guys are top 6 defenders, except for Dahlin and I guess you could say Peak. And then goalie-wise, they have Kosa and Logan Thompson. Haven't we played Kosa in the playoffs before? Maybe we have. I don't remember if we have. Maybe that was my other series. I don't know. And then depth-wise, Antonio Strange is out with an injury, and they have Daniil Chaika and Philip Kroll. So basically, what I think this team is really good at is, yeah, this power play unit. I can see why Reichel had 50-something points. So we got to shut down this power play unit. Bedard, Connor, Dahlin, Rantanen, and Reichel. We shut that down, we have a chance of winning. Otherwise, it's going to be really tough because, yeah, they're reliant heavily on this top line, I'd say, and their power play. From a defensive standpoint, they're nothing like crazy. And then Kosa had a really good first round, but I don't know if Kosa is really that great of a goalie. He's solid, but I don't know if he's going to be like a difference maker in this series. Definitely this top line would be a difference maker for the Jets when we play it. So we definitely need to find a way to shut it down completely. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to round 2 against the Winnipeg Jets as we look to continue on our streak that we're on. And hopefully after sweeping the Canucks, we could do some damage against the Jets. So I'm going to link down below, and I'll see you guys next time.